We're electing 7 councillors, and first up is Deb Doherty.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much to Ruperts Landing for once again organizing an event like this. This is democracy in action, and it's a great opportunity for people to come and meet us all firsthand. I have done a lot of walking and talking the last 4 years and recently during this campaign, and it is very clear to me that one of the primary issues in this community is growth. And my campaign slogan is, let's grow smart. And I have left a flyer on the table there that elaborates a little bit further as to my thoughts as to how we can accomplish that. The question that I've chosen to answer today is in regard to cycling and cycling infrastructure, because as an avid cyclist, it is absolutely my favorite topic of discussion. And I really would dare say that I am your strongest advocate for cycling and cycling infrastructure on council, because I live it every day. I'm a strong promoter of bike lanes and widened paved shoulders on heavier traveled roadways, because this is how we encourage people to use bicycles as opposed to cars to get around. The advantage of paved shoulders as well is actually economic, because the lifespan of a roadway is improved when the shoulder is 2 to 3 feet wider than the edge of the roadway. That has been demonstrated over and over again. I believe that we need to continue to promote the establishment of bike lanes throughout the community. I believe that there is an opportunity for us to take a look at downtown Collingwood as an example, and maybe look at some creative ways in which we can encourage cyclists to come downtown, reducing traffic, reducing the need for parking, because it is nerve-wracking, quite frankly, to ride a bicycle down the road with cars angle parked to the rear. We have an issue with people riding their bicycles on sidewalks, but I, in a way, can't blame them, because you feel safer on a sidewalk. Cycling and cycling infrastructure have so many other benefits to a community that are more indirect. But as an example, when you add a bike lane to a roadway, you are in effect narrowing the roadway. When you narrow the roadway, you slow the traffic down. And I guess that's it. I'm happy to talk tomorrow.
Do we have a question? If we don't have a question, you're very welcome to take another minute to finish your comments if you'd like.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. So I will continue. So cycling infrastructure also offers all of us an opportunity to choose to cycle, to get around, to play, to send our children to school, to get around to work. Once again, that takes some of the volume away from traffic. It also provides an image in our community of health and activity and outdoor focus. Gives parents a sense of security when they're sending kids off to school. Also, I believe that cycling, a demonstrated allegiance to cycling in general, provides all of us with a culture of inclusiveness. And we're not differentiating ourselves as much, those that can afford a car, those that can't, and get to work by bicycle.
Okay, second up on the for councillor is Stephen Aldred.
To start off by thanking Ruperts Landing for this opportunity to speak in front of you guys. I can assure you that when I practice in front of the mirror, I kind of sound like Barack Obama. When I talk in front of 40 or 50 people, I don't sound like Barack Obama. I digress. when I was looking at the questions, as much as I would like to talk about the traffic lights that are needed, that question really is for Doug in Toronto. It's a provincial highway, and really it's under their jurisdiction. But I did get to the last question, and it was, Collingwood is changing, ... are you? And I thought, wow, how did I miss that? Like, that should be my slogan. That should be on my signs. I have new direction, new ideas, and it's kind of lame now compared to Collingwood is changing. And that's why I'm running for council, is because Collingwood is changing. And I'm asking the voters, are you ready for that change? The population is growing, and the biggest shift in population is for young families. I am part of the change. I came here with my family. We have 4 children. They're in soccer, hockey, rugby, cheer, mountain biking. They're in everything. And on my street, I live in a new development, and there's families from Brampton, Mississauga, Canada. They're from everywhere. And I don't think that we are prepared for the shift in demographics that's going on in Collingwood. My boys' hockey team, he plays Adam hockey. There's 5 hockey teams this year in Adam. There's usually only 4, but now there's 5. There's 5 in novice. There was only 4 in the past, and it's going to continue to grow. Okay, and that leads me to my number 1 priority for council, and that is to build a multi-use rec center in Collingwood, preferably Central Park. There's municipalities across Ontario, both smaller and larger than Collingwood, that are building these multi-use rec facilities, and they're amazing. There's a facility in Innisfil that I used frequently, and this is not just for the young population. During the day, the place was buzzing with senior citizens. They had seniors programming. There's aquafit. The pool was jam-packed. There's yoga. There's fitness classes, all geared towards seniors during the day. And then at 4 o'clock, the senior buzz dies, and there's a louder buzz that comes in. There's children's swimming programs. There's hockey. There's kids playing basketball and volleyball in the gym. And we don't have that. We're neglecting the youth. We're neglecting. Right now, my oldest is in just started high school, and all of her friends are hanging out at McDonald's, and I think they should be hanging out there.
I know, it goes fast, doesn't it? Do we have a question? If not, I'll give... Okay, we do have a question.
Just so I can get this out, what's your opinion of having a ward system versus the system we have now? Because with a ward system, we can actually hold that council person responsible.
I like the idea, just because I'm new to running for municipal politics, and I found that there's a block of people running in Collingwood, and it would eliminate that block of people. So if a mayor and 4 councillors gets in, their mandates, it's done. It gets passed. If you had a ward system, I think you would eliminate that issue. And yeah, I know Christopher Baines. He's mentioned that in his platform, and I totally agree with that. And it might even you might even find that you don't need 7 councillors. I'm not sure, but you would know who to call in your neighborhood. Which one? I don't know. But when I've got a problem, I don't know. I just kind of go on a list and make a phone call or send an email.
Christopher Baines, he's up next.
Perfect segue to the 2 points that differentiate me from my 18 worthy opponents, I must say, of why I'm running. Number 1, a ward system. Collingwood is one of the few municipalities of its size in Ontario that doesn't have a ward system. Now, a ward system giving a specific geographic area or neighborhood to an elected councillor gives you councillor accountability. I live at Birch and 4th and have been complaining about 4th Street between Beach and Birch for 5 years now. Not about the potholes, that's understandable, and I know it's going to get short fullness of time and will get resolved. However, the sidewalks have sunken and pool water in the fall up to 2 inches and then freeze in December. Saw an old lady slip one time on that, and the poor ladies the mothers with their carriages trying to get it across. It's silly. If which of the 7 councillors are you going to call? It's like Ghostbusters. Who are you going to call? With a ward system, we'll have councillor accountability. The second reason I'm running, I've been a practicing mediator for 20 years. I live with conflict. That's my job. It's to take opposing, strong opinions and say, all right, people, guns in the holsters, we got to work out a deal here. We got to figure a way out. So let's get at it. Roll up your sleeves and let's get some solutions done here. I just think that those skills could be of use in what I see with some of our worthy opponents and their strong positions and strong personalities. It could be helpful in the next 4 years at council. That's why I'm hoping I'll work hard for you, and I'd love to hear you say, I'm backing Baines for council. Thank you. Well, thank you. I didn't address the one issue. Do I still have time?
Go.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Okay.
You're up until the buzzer.
Well, great, thank you. I've lived up here since 1962. My parents built a cabin at Craigley Ski Club, and I used to like to come up here. Well, the way to get up here as a 15-year-old, of course, at that time, was to take the bus. Left me off right at the foot of Blue Mountain Winter Park Road, as it was known then. And indeed, I could do the same thing to get home. The old man wouldn't let me use the car because I was 15 or so, but even when I was old enough, he wouldn't let me use the car anyway. My point is, 100 years ago, you could take the train to Craigley. 15, 20 years ago, you could take the bus up. It's ridiculous that we have a growing population, and we're supposed to be, 35,000 in 2035, and yet our choices to get from Barrie are diminished. I got a daughter, a millennial, a 30-year-old in Toronto. My wife and I have to drive 8 or 9 times a year, hopefully more if she comes up more often, to Barrie to pick her up either at the GO station or at the bus station. We need a service from Barrie at least to here. Now, Ontario Northland did a deal with GO Transit in regard to Bracebridge, Huntsville, and Gravenhurst. They did that deal. We can do the same deal. Thank you.
Any questions? Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Just to build on the board system, I realize it will probably a lot of work to get one implemented, but why wouldn't the council, once they're elected, basically assign each councillor a specific, not necessarily an area, maybe one group handles businesses, one group handles the condominium strip, one whatever, okay, and then publish, that's the primary responsibility, obviously you can vote others as well. Put that information into the next tax bill so you don't have to incur any additional expenses to mail it out. And then the people who are part of this community would at least have somebody they could go to initially if they had some specific issue.
Almost like cabinet ministers.
Yeah, so
To the mayoralty candidates, put that to you. I think it's certainly something worth considering. Thanks very much. Remember, I'm backing Baines.